Elevate your summer with Osea's best-selling body care set. It's everything you need for radiant summer skin on the go. Featuring travel sizes of Osea's clean, vegan, cruelty-free, and climate-neutral skincare, like their best-selling Undaria algae body oil. Right now, you can get the bestsellers body care set, a $78 value, 33% off. And use code SUMMER to save an additional 10%. That's an additional 10% off at OSEAMalibu.com, code SUMMER.
You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers, about hikers, for everybody.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night.
Welcome to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast, where we talk about the continual pursuit of the section hiker.
And I'll spread the word, and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come. And we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. You are listening to Jester Section Hiker, the premier podcast with the spotlight on section hikers. And I'm your host, Julie Jester Gayhart, coming to you from north of Duncannon, Pennsylvania, on the Appalachian Trail. Still working on my second section hike completion. And today is Thursday, July 16th, day 33 out here on this hiking journey. Very hard to believe it has actually been 33 amazing days out on the Appalachian Trail. And today, I've actually moved about 85 trail miles north of Caledonia State Park, where we ended on the last episode. And I am actually hiking today south from PA 501, the famous 501 shelter area, which is not open, by the way, and the water is turned off. Hiking south back to mile marker 1182.0, and the PA 501 shelter mile marker is 1194.8, which makes it a 12.8 mile day. And I've probably got about 4.5 miles to go before I am done for the day. But wanted to let you guys know that I had an amazing time at Gettysburg. Spent about 3 hours there, and wow. I mean, if you have not had a chance to go to Gettysburg, what an amazing thing. I mean, I'm serious. It's almost like, I mean, you can hear the soldiers in the field. And I know some of you are going to think I'm crazy, but it's just like, as you drive around and get out of your car and read, monument signs and figure, okay, here's where the North was and this where this battle was. And, you see where the South was and, this is different battalions and things like that. I don't understand how all the battalions worked and who was who, but man, if you just stand there in silence, it's almost like, you could hear the talking, of the soldiers and the drumming and things like that. I don't know. It was great. So that was, that was Tuesday. And then yesterday, spent the day, kind of resupplying, looking at everything and planning the logistics for this next leg here in Pennsylvania. And then I believe I'm going to be in Pennsylvania for about a week and then move to the New York-Connecticut border and see how many days I can get done there. And last night, Wednesday, July the 15th, my school board voted, and teachers are still going back to work on August the 6th, and the kids are coming August 17th. And we are going to be following a hybrid model, which is kind of, I don't know, this whole COVID thing, everything is just weird, everything. So what we're going to do at school is we're going to go 3 weeks where the kids are going to rotate coming to school. And then after the first 3 weeks of school, we are going to be 100% remote learning until I don't know when. So, yeah. So I'm going to relish every second that I have out here on my section hike, because things are going to get crazy starting August the 6th when I go back to work. So, but with that being said, still going to try to enjoy everything out here and get as many miles in as I can. And I know the last couple weeks that it's been all about the heat, and it's still all about the heat, but I got to tell you, today has been great. It is overcast. There's actually a slight breeze. And when you start at the 501 show, I mean, you pretty much cross the road and you head out to an overlook. I think it's called the 501 overlook. And it's a gorgeous overlook, but the graffiti on the rocks there, it just makes me ill. I don't understand. I don't know why people are doing this. It does seem to be more predominant in Pennsylvania, from what I can tell, for the parts of Pennsylvania that I've been in, and hiking with Wheezy Pee, and some of the comments that I've got on Instagram. People are saying, well, that didn't used to be there. That looks new, and things like that. So I don't know. That just makes it even worse. It's like, what are people thinking? And I have noticed a difference in the trailheads in Virginia versus the trailheads in Pennsylvania. The trailheads in Pennsylvania seem to be more garbage and things like that. It's just, they're more dirty. That is all I can say. But yeah, so you kind of start off, and I'm going south, so it's a little bit different. And it's just kind of rolling, and you end up on this carriage road, and you're just kind of rolling up and down, and then you hit some rock boulder fields and some different things. So I'm actually getting ready to run into some hikers here, so I'm going to step to the side. Morning. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Where'd you guys hike from this morning?
Not the first. Satara. The bridge.
Oh, the bridge. All right, cool. All right, guys. Happy trails.
Thanks. You too.
All right, take care. That was just two ladies hiking that started down at Swatara Gap. So that was cool. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you pass each other on trail. They were going uphill, so I stepped off the trail and acquiesced. Have a little conversation. And if people want to talk more, I'll talk more. And if not, they want to keep moving, I just keep it moving. And that's just kind of the way it works. So, yeah, apparently I'm on my way down to the Swatara Bridge. I think it's at PA 72. So that'll be cool. And I absolutely do not remember this section at all. This was a section that I did in 2015. I'm thinking I might remember the bridge when I get down there and see it, but no, don't remember any of it. It is pretty much green tunnel. And like I said, you're kind of on this old overgrown, I'm going to call it a carriage road, but the hiking has not been hard at all. So after having a couple days off, it's like, yay, I can get my legs back in the swing of things. So today will be this section. Tomorrow I am doing a 9-mile section, and I had a listener reach out to me, and I think I'm going to meet up with another listener tomorrow, and he and I are going to hike a little bit. So that will be cool, and hopefully I can get him to say a few things on the podcast. But other than that, you know, today's one of those days where you're just hiking along, going through the green tunnel. I am enjoying the sun being behind the clouds. And like I said, I've only got, I don't know, probably around 4 miles left. If I'm that close to the bridge, I might be closer to it than I think. I hope you guys are having an awesome Thursday. And again, you guys will hear from me real soon. Take care and chat soon. Hey everybody, it is Jester. It is Friday, July 17th, day number 34 out on the Appalachian Trail. And I have actually already finished hiking for the day, but wanted to do a little bit of a recap. Today I went south on the trail from PA 183 to PA 501, which was a total of 9.3 miles. And it was actually a great day within those 9.3 miles. First thing this morning, as soon as I got out of the vehicle and was getting ready to get on trail, I ran into, I recognized this guy, and I'm like, wait a minute. I think I recognize him. That is Wild on the Trail. And he actually has a YouTube channel. And if you guys will remember the episode that I had a week ago with Fresh Ground, he was talking about being around Wild on the Trail, and we briefly chatted about him. So there he was, standing right there at the trailhead. So he and I had a great conversation this morning. He was waiting to be picked up, and I asked him if he wanted to be on the podcast. And as soon as we were starting to get stuff together, his ride showed up, and he didn't want to make her wait, and I totally understand that. But we had a great conversation, and we kind of exchanged numbers and stuff. So we are going to get together in the fall and have a chat. And then a couple days ago, more than a couple days ago, I have been going back and forth on Instagram with a guy named Opt Out. And he and I, we're trying to figure out when would be a good time for him to meet up and all that good stuff. And today was finally the day. And I actually have an interview with Opt Out that you guys will be listening to here shortly. And then before I met Opt Out, I've actually been seeing these two guys literally since I started the trail in Daleville over 330 miles ago. And, they're through hiking and doing their thing. And, they would see me one day going south, and then, I'd be going north and see them. And yesterday we kind of figured out, since I'm going to be done with this section in Pennsylvania here in the next couple days, that we may not see each other anymore. And I said, you know what, guys, I'm going to be going south tomorrow. So I am going to bring you guys some pastries. So last night, we ate at this phenomenal diner in Lickdale, Pennsylvania. It's actually called, I think it's Heisey's Diner, Heisey Diner. So if you're ever in Lickdale, Pennsylvania, you have got to go to this diner. And they had some cake. So I picked up a couple pieces of chocolate peanut butter cake, wrapped it all up, got some plasticware, put it in a bag, loaded it in my pack this morning. So after I saw Wild this morning, I knew probably about 4 miles in, I would see those guys. So sure enough, they were coming up the trail north, and I said, "Woo, you guys are going to love me." And then pulled out of the pack the chocolate and peanut butter cake. And they sat there and ate the cake, and we just kind of chit-chatted a little bit and said, hey, it was great to see you, blah, blah, blah. And they are now heading up the trail. And I don't think our paths will cross again, but you never know. So that was great. And then as soon as I got done chatting with those guys, here came Opt Out, the gentleman that he actually parked where I finished today. He hiked in about 4.5, 5 miles, and then he was going to hike back to his car with me. So that was probably one of the fastest 4.5 or 5 miles that I've had, because he and I were just talking and about logistics, and he hikes every Friday, and you guys are going to hear that here shortly. So just kind of wanted to recap the day for you guys. And the The terrain was typical Pennsylvania terrain. It was nice and flat for a while, and then the rocks. And then nice and flat for a while, and then the rocks. And then you will hear the end of our hike with Opt Out and I in his interview as he describes the terrain. So it was an awesome 9.3 miles, and great to meet Wild out on the trail. Great to share some cake with the two guys that I've been going back and forth with since Daleville, Virginia, which was well over 330 miles ago. And then it was great to spend the last 4.5 miles with Opt Out and get to know him and his hiking style. He hikes the trail every Friday, and you'll hear him talk more about that here shortly. So I hope all of you had an awesome Friday. And tomorrow, Saturday, July 18th, Wheezy Pee and I will be back out. I think we're doing, well, it's probably something crazy. I actually feel like it's a 17 miler, and you'll hear from us tomorrow. So thanks again, and chat real soon. Hey everybody, it is Jester. It is Friday, July 17th, and I am actually in Pennsylvania, and I've got a listener with me here today, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. So,
hey Jester, it's Opt Out.
I am here with Opt Out, and he and I have DM'd each other a couple times, and I was supposed to get in contact with him when I got to Caledonia, and I did not. So I'm sorry about that.
All good.
And he reached out to me, what was it, a couple days ago?
Yeah, I knew you were going to be a little north of me, so see if we could connect up.
Yeah, so we are in a little section. We're hiking south, but Opt Out has actually done a yo-yo already. So I started at PA 183 and am going down to PA 501, which I think is it's close to 9.5 miles. It might just be right under that. So Opt Out, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you got going on.
Yeah, I'm live here in central Pennsylvania, and I hike the AT every Friday. So it's just kind of my escape where I can let the troubles of the world go away and
Exactly.
Get all the great ideas and roll with that.
So what sections of the trail have you done so far?
So I live kind of just outside Boiling Springs, and I've done about 60 miles north and south of there. So kind of Caledonia to about Swatera State Park area.
And uniquely enough, you do a lot of out and backs.
I do, yeah. I usually find a parking area, go 5 to 7 miles, and then right back. So I'm going Nobo and Sobo at the same time.
And such the life of a section hiker, day hiker, or whatever you're doing out here to get the job done, basically. So Opt Out, tell us about your trail name.
Yeah, so I started doing these Fridays about 2.5 years ago. And shortly after I started, 3 Fridays in a row, I ran into the same trail maintainer in the Cumberland Valley section. And the third time he stopped me and he said, "What are you doing? You're out here every Friday. You look like you should be working in a cubicle somewhere." And I said, "Well, I just became self-employed not too long ago. And one of the reasons I wanted to do that so I could spend more time outside." And he said, "Oh, I like that." He said, "You opted out of the cubicle so you could opt outside. Your trail name should be Opt Out."
That is awesome.
And
so you were actually named by a trail maintainer.
By a trail maintainer, and I didn't get his name, and I haven't seen him since, so it kills me.
I love it. So before we met, Opt Out sent me a picture of what he looked like and stuff so I could recognize him. And he has a very unique orange hat, and I actually love it. So talk to us about your hat, because it's great.
Yeah, so I like a Bonnie hat, the flappy side thing, for some extra sun protection. But it would drive me nuts, a little bit of wind, or you get sweaty and it's sagging in your face. And I found this hat, a guy, I think he's a fly fisher or something, who designed this hat with like a firm brim in the front so it doesn't flop, and it's got foam on the sides. It's real lightweight. So it's called a Shelta hat. So I'm loving that.
Yeah, it looks very breathable.
And mine is day glow orange because I hike mostly in the game lands of Pennsylvania year round, and I don't really want them shooting at me. So
no, and actually, as soon as I actually saw your hat before I saw you, because you were kind of coming up and I was going down, I said, "Well, there's Opt Out." because I recognized the picture. So what made you, were you going to hike this section, or did you just say, hey, I'm going to try to catch up with Jester, or what made you want to come out today?
Yeah, I've been enjoying the podcast. We talked earlier, during quarantine time when I was walking around, 10 miles in the neighborhood is really boring as opposed to 10 miles on trail.
Exactly.
So I needed something to listen to, and I found the podcast then, and it's kind of been some fun entertainment, and I knew you were going to be in my neck of the woods. So just connect and share some trail together.
And we just actually, so the area we're in right now, that's us. It rained pretty hard last night, so the trail is really damp. And this morning, so opt out. So actually, he is hiking the opposite, so he could meet me about halfway. So we are now going back what he has already been over, back down to the road. And when I say the rocks are wet, I mean, that's probably an understatement. So talk to the listeners about what we just went through.
Yeah, we probably had a good, 200-300 yards of pretty much pure rocks. Thankfully going uphill a little bit this time, made it a little easier, but I still almost took a little spin, and thankfully a well-placed tree caught me there a little bit. But yeah, that's the one part. I hate how everyone's always hating on my state in the AT, but I kind of get it sometimes. So
yeah, so we just went through, I don't know, I'm going to call it a mini boulder field, and I think we're good for now, from what I can remember, and I really don't remember. And but no, it has been great. It has been, we've really nonstop talked since we met. And it's been great to get to know each other. And anything you want to leave for the listeners, or?
Keep on hiking, get outside.
That's right.
Jester, happy hiking in the north.
That's right. And I will say this, that, Opt Out is doing his thing. He's getting the trail done, whether it's every Friday or, you can only go a couple days a month. Don't stop from, hiking. And I've said this multiple times. I think people think, oh, I can't do the entire trail, so I'll just wait and I'll wait and I'll wait. And I've just met so many people that are not waiting. They're getting out on Fridays. They're doing their thing. They're section hiking. So I encourage anybody listening to this, you can get out on the trail. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I started when I was 38. I'll probably be 75 till it's done, but loving all of it.
Well, listen, he and I are going to talk logistics because I'm not going to let him wait till he's 75. All right. Well, very good. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for coming out and hiking, and happy trails.
Happy trails to you, Jester.
Thank you. Okay, round two. Hey, everybody, this is Jester and
Wheezy Pee.
And we are back for your Saturday entertainment. It is Saturday, July 18th, and we are actually hiking north on the trail. Dun, dun, dun. We are going from PA 325, which is Clarks Valley Road, north to PA 72, really PA 443. If you're looking at mile markers, because I know some of you like the mile markers, it is mile marker 1,166 north to mile 1,182 for about a 16-mile day. But we also have this alternate route I think we have to take because there is a what ahead?
A beaver dam.
Busy
beavers.
Apparently the last couple years, the beavers have been busy in this area and have built a dam. And actually, there is an alternate route that you can go around it. It adds about a mile or so, we think. But that was not the case back in 2015. I don't remember anything about a beaver dam. So we are probably going to be going around that because I had a guy tell me yesterday it was about up to his knees, and that would mean my waist, and Wheezy Pee.
Probably my chest.
So we're not into that. So we're going to be walking around that. And he said, watch out for the snakes and leeches and all. Well, I'm really not into that.
Oh, yeah. Copperheads swim, just an FYI. So, yeah, I'm not going in any deep water.
No, forget that. So Wheezy Pee described to us kind of the terrain and what we've been doing so far.
Well, we had a nice little slap you in the face climb this morning. It wasn't too bad because it's gradual and then steep and gradual and then steep. And it was rocky. And then after that, I mean, we just it's been pretty flat. Rocky in sections, but pretty flat.
Yeah, and in our fashion, we took one break and had a good water break, and we are breaking now. How many miles are we in right now?
5.17.
I mean, you guys know her technology. So we are at 5.17 into the hike. And what'd you just eat?
Cheetos and a beef and cheese platter with honey mustard sauce from Sheets.
And I had some Ruffles potato chips and a Smucker's peanut butter and jelly sandwich round is what I'm going to call it. And well, I forgot we had oranges. I ate oranges back at the first stop. Did you eat anything at the first stop?
I had Cheetos.
Okay. Well, of course. I'm telling you, her Cheetos bag is as big as her pack. This is the
regular size.
Regular size Cheetos bag. But coming up for the hike, we're getting ready to hit, is it a little town or what is I can't remember, what's the little area with all the signs and...
Yellow Springs.
Yellow Springs. And do you know much about Yellow Springs or...
I just know that there used to be a mining community there.
That's what it is, yeah.
And there's the rail trail right by there, and there's a ghost story that goes along with the rail trail.
So we're coming up on that, and hopefully we won't see any ghosts. Although, I did stop to use the restroom about a mile or so back, and Wheezy Pee went up the trail, and I just thought I heard this thumping, but then Wheezy Pee said, "Do you hear that thumping in the ground?" What do you think that was?
Bigfoot.
So it sounded like people were walking under the dirt, and I turned around and it looked like an old grave site, and I thought people were going to start coming up out of the grave, and then we decided it may be the cicadas coming out after us.
Yeah, the cicada is seeking revenge for how short their life is.
So that was interesting because as soon as we walked out of that area, we didn't hear that anymore.
No, it's a weird thumping noise, almost like something could have been maybe a bear hitting a tree, maybe thumping on a tree.
Yeah, it was weird.
Trying to get a chipmunk down. I don't know.
We're getting ready to hit the yellow. Yeah, we're getting ready to hit the Yellow Springs area, and then I think after that we'll be near the Beaver Dam, but we're going to be taking the alternate route. And then after that, we've got a little bit of a climb up and down. Is that right?
That's what it looks like. Yeah, not too bad though.
And then we'll be done. Yeah, about 16 minus 5 is
Got about 11 to
okay.
go. Roughly. Yeah.
All right, guys. So we will be back once we get through Yellow Springs, and we will, if we can see the Beaver Dam, we will definitely have Wheezy Pee take
we'll
video
be on
of that.
Video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Happy trails, and we will be back soon.
Bye.
All right, everybody. It is Jester and
Wheezy Pee.
Oh, God. Okay, we are back. And if I didn't mention before, this is day number 35 out on the Appalachian Trail. Did I already say July 18th? I'm sure I did. Saturday, July 18th. And we've actually been very busy. Wheezy Pee checked the mail for us in Yellow Springs. We actually got done just going around the renamed, make sure you all post this, the Justin Bieber Dam reroute.
Yep.
And we are now headed downhill 2.5 miles to go to where are we going? Swatara Gap, PA something or the other, and Route 443. So, all right, Wheezy Pee. I wish you guys could see this. Wheezy Pee is actually sitting on a log with her legs crossed like she's in church. So, and we're actually in a very nice area at the top of a climb pretty much, heading down. Oh, we also did our top 14. Oh, wait. Okay. I'm going to let Wheezy Pee explain this because I forgot already. So Wheezy Pee, explain how our day's been going.
So to pass some time, we actually decided to rate the states based on elevation gain and loss.
Elevation gain and loss. And I guess
The
from
difficulty
hardest to easiest,
Yeah.
based on elevation gain and loss. So
I think New Hampshire came in as hardest, and I want to say Pennsylvania came in as easiest elevation
yeah.
gain wise. Because you don't do much elevation gain in Pennsylvania.
Do you want to rattle off the list? Or
Sure.
We actually created a list while we were hiking. So what's that tell you about the terrain?
So starting from
Okay, full disclosure, this is Jester and Wheezy Pee's list. Don't anybody get twisted.
Okay.
Based on, all kinds of factors, but here we go.
So we'll start from the hardest to the easiest. New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, North Carolina, Connecticut, Georgia, Tennessee, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, West Virginia, only because it includes the roller coaster.
Yeah, and that about killed me dead about a couple weeks ago, so there you go.
Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Virginia actually came in as easiest for elevation gain and loss.
And we also added to that, okay, where would you send grandma? So that's kind of how we rated the
Not
hardest.
Pennsylvania.
Not Pennsylvania, definitely not New Hampshire. Maybe to ride up the train to the top of Mount Washington.
Yep, the Cog Railway. I'd send grandma up there
So we had
with a puffy jacket.
So we had logic and trail logic and reasoning for each one of these states, and we might go over that more in the video. But besides that, how's the terrain? Kind of describe what we've been going through since our first stop.
We had one major climb at the beginning of the day that was over 2 miles, and then since then it's been mostly downhill or flat. And then the reroute took us up a climb, and towards the last quarter mile of the climb it got really steep, but outside of that, I mean, the climbs haven't been bad at all. It's been pretty rocky, but it's really a mix of rocky and dirt, so it's not too terribly bad. It is what it is.
It is what it is. And
It's
we
very
actually
hot.
started off, both of us started off with 3.5 liters of water.
Yes.
You know, hydration is key on these days, especially the heat index was supposed to be 100, but I don't think it doesn't feel like that.
I think out in the sun it does. We also brought goo gels and hydration chews and fruit. So it's good. It's not, we've seen some people with dogs. Dogs are suffering out here today.
Yeah.
For sure. It's way too hot.
I mean, we've had one place in 16 miles to fill up.
Yeah. Only one. Yeah. Everything has been completely bone dry.
And
I mean,
then,
it's actually like a chalky dirt where there should be water. So that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So tell everybody actually about the reroute. So both of us have been through the regular route of the AT. I went through in 15 and you went through
16.
In 16. And since then, the beaver dams have taken over 150 yards of the trail with what they do. Apparently they built a dam and, you know,
Flooded the area.
and flooded the area. And at any given time, it could be up to your waist, up to your knees. And we just decided, hey, we've gone through the trail that way, and now we're going to take the alternate. And the alternate ended up only being how much
0.8 longer.
Okay. So, yeah, it's only 0.8 longer. It's not that bad. You walk on a rail trail route.
Yeah.
We actually saw several people on their bikes. And then if you're going north, you're going to follow the rail trail how far?
So going north, you're going to come across the bridge that goes over Roush Creek at Roush Gap, and you just continue straight over that bridge. Just keep going straight. And then what you'll do is you go about 1.1 miles down. You're going to pass a gas pipeline on your right. It's the next right after the gas pipeline. There is a sign that says 2AT North. And you take a right there and you go through a field. And then you start climbing. And then I think it's about just over 0.6 from the rail trail to the top.
Yeah, and when we got to the top, we took a really good break. It was the first time we had basically phone service all day.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're kind of heading down to the road. So it's actually been a great day.
Yeah. Lots of shade.
Lots of shade, which is good. So any final thoughts?
Yay!
Yay. Yay, we are heading down. All right, guys, it is a wrap. Another Saturday with Jester and Wheezy Pee. And I'm sure Wheezy Pee is going to put another video together.
Absolutely.
And yeah. All right, so I will chat with you guys soon.
Peace, peace.
Good morning, everybody. It is Jester. It is Monday, July 20th, day number 37 out on the Appalachian Trail. And today, I'm also going to start adding another number, which 14 days left. So day number 37, 14 days left. I am actually hiking today in Pennsylvania. I started at mile marker 1204.1, which is PA 183, hiking north to Port Clinton, Pennsylvania, which is mile marker 12 18.9, which makes it roughly a 14.8 mile day. And right off the bat, I've got a sad little story to tell you guys. If the sound is a little bit different, I apologize, because I washed my lapel mic that I've been using this whole time, which I think sounded awesome, in my laundry yesterday. So I'm a little bit sad about that, because it's been working out so well. And with only having 14 days left out here, hopefully I can get to a Walmart or something and get another mic. If not, my apologies if this doesn't sound as well, but I will keep it moving and still continue to podcast. And hopefully it will not sound that bad, because I am just using the mic on my iPhone. It actually shouldn't sound too bad. I actually have an iPhone 11 Pro Max, and I think the mic is pretty good on this. So hopefully it won't pick up a ton of noises that don't need to be happening. But anyway, happy Monday to everybody. Day 37. Yesterday, day 36, was actually a day off, and had a really good day. Went to church with Wheezy Pee and her husband in Duncannon yesterday morning. And then we had a little barbecue at their apartment in Duncannon, and then spent the rest of the day really relaxing and regrouping for this next stretch. Because if I want to get to Tyringham, Massachusetts, which is the overall objective for this section hike, I got to get on the move. And I've worked that out logistically, how many miles I'm going to go each day and where I'm going to stay and all that good stuff. So yeah, here we go. Today's terrain, literally on the map, it looks like, or in the AWOL guide rather, basically a flat line. And that is very deceiving in the fact that, yes, the trail is pretty flat, but the rumors about Pennsylvania being rocky are very true on this section. It's just all kinds of little rocks in the trail, and sometimes you get a break and you're able to stride out, and then the rocks come back, and then you get a break and you're able to stride out. So basically that is the majority of the day. I've got a good breeze right now, which is very welcomed, because I think when I started this morning it was already 80 degrees, and it's just going to be warm the next couple days. But I have loaded up with, today I started with 4.5 liters of water, because this entire stretch is dry. And one of the first springs I went by, totally dry. So I wanted to make sure I had enough water, Gatorade, electrolytes, and all that good stuff, so I wouldn't have to worry about it. And I think I am going to be good to go. But yeah, so you're kind of just meandering, slight up and downs in the green tunnel. Right now, the trail is surrounded by ferns on both sides. And every once in a while, I am getting a breeze. So that is awesome. But probably the highlight of today is going to be toward the end. I think I've either got a half a mile or a mile downhill into Port Clinton. And for those of you that have never hiked on the Appalachian Trail, the downhill into Port Clinton, if you've hiked the Appalachian Trail, you know that it is a rememberable downhill. And if you're Sobo, it is a rememberable uphill, because typically it is known to be dry, steep, and it's the footing. It's like all this loose rock, and the trail is kind of sandy. So you're going down this steep downhill down into the little town of Port Clinton, and it's almost like you're sliding. So you've really, really, really got to watch your footing and be careful. So that is the highlight of the afternoon, getting down into Port Clinton. And the first time I went through here, there is a little candy store down in Port Clinton, but it was closed. And I'm hoping today that it will be open, and I'm going to go in there and get all kinds of candy. But not sure if it's open with all the pandemic and COVID-19. So we shall see. But yes, I'm going to head down to the candy store, enjoy the rest of this day, the flat terrain, and hopefully this breeze keeps up because it is warm. And today is just one of those days on the trail. Not a lot of views. Actually, I only think I'm going to get one view. And, you know, the downhill to Port Clinton is the highlight, which is really not a highlight. But yeah, just one of those days on the trail where, hey, this is actually part of the trail and you got to hike it and go through. But not a lot of views. Not a lot of high points. Everything kind of looks the same. But this breeze coming right now, I'm very thankful. I'm actually started very early this morning. A little bit after 6 a.m. because I do not want to be out here in the heat of the day, which typically is between like 2 and 5 o'clock when that sun is like straight up in the air. That's just when it becomes unbearable out on the trail. But I hope the sound is going to be okay. And this afternoon, I will try and see about going and getting a new mic. And it may not sound as good because the mic I had was one of the top mics for podcasting remotely. So it makes me very sad. Anyway, have an awesome Monday. Happy trails, everybody. And you know I'll be back and we will chat real soon. Hey everybody, it is Jester again. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, I've gotten a couple questions. It is still Monday, July the 20th, and about logistics of planning a section hike and kind of what you want to do and all that good stuff. And first and foremost, I'll just go ahead and say there is definitely more than one way to section hike. And I kind of look at planning the section hike is like if you're doing a through hike, you certainly have to plan your resupply and how many days in between town you're going to be. You know, when you get to town, do you want to stay? Do you want to do some miles into town and then stay? That kind of stuff. So through hikers also have planning logistics, but for the most part, they're pretty much going in a straight line and planning, you know, resupply to resupply. And that's kind of the way I look at section hiking. Now, if you section hike and you backpack and you want to be out for 7 days and you're going from point A to point B, and maybe there's a stop in the middle where you can get a resupply, and you're doing everything on foot, you know, you're kind of just planning your section hike, you know, kind of like you would a through hike, but it's only 7 days. But what I've been doing this summer is, I guess, what I call base camping. And like this section here, for example, in Pennsylvania. So basically, I have gone from PA 325, the Clarks Valley Road area, to PA 183, where I started this morning. And I base camped at the KOA campground in Lickdale, Pennsylvania. And that campground is kind of in the middle. So that allowed me to go, what I did is I went north and went 2 days south, you know, back to the campground, and then went south and hiked 2 separate days north, kind of back to the campground. And that's another way to section hike as well. And especially if there is more than one of you and you have 2 cars, you can pretty much slack pack all of those days with your base camp being at the KOA. Or if you're by yourself, you can still base camp there and not haul all your gear. You can kind of set up at the campground and you can get shuttles. So for this summer with COVID-19 and all that, I know I talked early on that I was not going to be staying out on the trail. And because of some pre-planning logistics, kind of figuring out where those campgrounds are and stuff, where I can base camp. And I've talked about a couple campgrounds before, how great they were in previous episodes. But just wanted to kind of answer that question for people. That, I mean, section hiking, depending on how you do it, and what your objective is, if you want to accomplish a lot of miles, it might be easier to slack pack every day and have a base camp. If you want to backpack and be out in your tent, you know, you're pretty much, you know, going in a straight line and planning resupply to resupply. But, you know, there's a couple people out here that you guys have heard from. One of them is Alpha Gal, and unfortunately, his audio, I'm going to reach out to him again and we are going to interview. But he has a method where basically he'll hike in and then turn around and come back out. Or he'll hike in and then maybe get a shuttle and get a shuttle back to his car, which is another way. And then we decided he was going Nobo and Sobo at the same time. So he had two hikes going on, 2 section hikes going on at the same time. And then you guys also heard from Opt Out, where he hikes on Fridays and he will hike in, you know, and then turn around and go back to the car. And then maybe the next Friday, go around to the northern or the southern end of the previous hike and then hike into where he left off before and then turn around and go back to the car. So, like I said, there is always more than one way to section hike out here and get those miles in. And that all depends on the amount of time you have off, what you want to accomplish within that section hike. But the one thing I will say that I've learned is to always be flexible, because I can create this whole big plan, and as soon as I get out on trail, here I am day 2 into the plan, and I've already had to change it, which I've done out here. And when I first started doing this, I would be upset that, oh, I didn't meet my objective. You know, I've done all this planning. But at the end of the day, you just don't know conditions. You know, the trail could have a reroute. It could be burning up hot. It could be pouring down the rain. And just what I've learned, even especially on this trip this year, is to be extremely flexible and to know in your mind that, yes, you're going to be hiking, but it may not be what you originally thought when you were sitting in the comforts of your home planning your trip. So just wanted to throw that out there. And then this next leg, I am actually throwing more hotels in there than I probably want to, because it's just so hot. And, you know, you've got to be able to sleep so you can hike. And sleeping right now out under the stars, I mean, it's 80 at night and it's just not comfortable. So, like I've always said, this is also a vacation for me as well. So if I can get better sleep in a hotel, then that's what I'm going to do. So I will keep you all posted on that. Just wanted to give you some logistics. And again, hope you guys are enjoying your Monday, July 20th, and we will chat soon. Hey everybody, it is Jester. It is Tuesday, July 21st, day number 38 out on the Appalachian Trail, and 13 days left for this summer's section hike. And today I started in Port Clinton, Pennsylvania at mile marker 1218.9, and I'm going to Hawk Mountain Road or the Eckville Shelter at mile marker 1233.7, and that makes for a 14.8 or close to 15 mile day by the time you go out to the pulpit and then over to the Pinnacle overview look, which I am actually hiking to right now. And if you guys could see what's in front of me, I mean, it's literally not trail. It is a rock garden. And for those of you that have hiked Pennsylvania, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But before I talk about the trail and today, I have got to go back to yesterday. I briefly touched on yesterday's downhill into Port Clinton. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, and those can throw up another downhill on the Appalachian Trail going north. That is absolutely the worst downhill on the Appalachian Trail. And the only other downhill I can compare it to on the AT that might be close, but I don't think it's as long, is in the Whites when you are hiking north and you are coming down from the Wildcats into Carter Notch Hut. So I am ranking the crazy downhill into Port Clinton the hardest downhill if you are hiking north. So there it has been said. I mean, yesterday coming down that, it is literally your foot is as far forward as it can go, and you better have good grip on your shoes, because about the last 0.6, it is nothing but loose pebbles, that's what I'm going to call it, loose rock, scree, and everything else. And it's one of those where you're taking one little inch step at a time, because otherwise you're going to completely slide down that thing. And I remembered it from 2015, but man, is it way more eroded over the last 5 years. So once I got down into Port Clinton, I'm not going to lie, I was like, I am done. And of course, after you get something to eat and something to drink, you're not really done. But I did end up going to the peanut shop in Port Clinton, which is the candy store there. Oh my goodness. If you are in Port Clinton and you're going north and you've done that terrible climb, or the terrible downhill rather, that candy shop is going to make you all better. And if you're going south, load up at the candy shop, because you're going to need all that sugar and calories to get up that climb going out of Port Clinton. So it's really a win-win. So stop at the peanut shop. It was open. I mean, any and every kind of candy, chocolate. I mean, they even had the old-fashioned cigarette candy. I used to roll up in my sleeves as a kid and act like I was smoking. Hilarious and ridiculous at the same time. But no. So hopefully, if you are out on the AT or driving through Port Clinton, I don't know why you would drive through Port Clinton, but if you do, you've got to stop at the peanut shop. So that ended yesterday. And then this morning, walking out of Port Clinton, and I knew walking out of Port Clinton is just kind of, that's really the only way I can put it. But when you are going north out of Port Clinton now, and you cross under I-61, there are actually homeless living underneath that bridge. And the famous trail sign under the bridge, or painting or whatever it is, marking that shows Georgia to Maine, It is totally graffitied all around it. At least those that graffitied, they left that famous marking. But yeah, it smelled under there. I was like, I got to get out of here. And then the climb out of Port Clinton, after seeing all that, I was just depressing this morning. I was just like, how is this happening? But anyway, so that's how the morning started off. And now there was a climb out of Port Clinton, and then you get to a place called the Pulpit, and it has a great view. And then you leave the Pulpit. And I'm going to have to say, too, in between the Pulpit and another viewpoint called the Pinnacle, which I'm almost to here in like 0.3, I would not recommend bringing someone out here for the first time that wants an introduction to the Appalachian Trail if you want them to continue the Appalachian Trail. And what I mean by that is it is rock city. Big rocks, little rocks, scree rocks, pointy rocks, big rocks you can hop. I don't think I've been on dirt trail for almost 2 miles since I left the Pulpit. So, and it plays games with your mind too. Like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? What am I doing here? Who in their right mind does this kind of thing? But that's just the way it is. If you're going to complete the Appalachian Trail, there's no way around Pennsylvania. I mean, there's just not. And the even more agonizing thing about Pennsylvania, I think I said this yesterday, if not, it is relatively flat. And I mean, if it was smooth ground, you could really move it. So, but it is what it is. It has already torn up another pair of my shoes, and I have actually made it to the Pinnacle. And I'm going to go out here and get an awesome view, and then I'm going to eat. I carried a small little apple pie that you can get from Walmart. That seems to be my thing now. For my afternoon snack is to have that. And as I'm walking out to the Pinnacle, on my left is this huge, it's got to be 20 feet rock pile. I don't know if they just moved all the rocks and put them here, or I don't know what's happening. But anyway, going to head out to the Pinnacle, eat my apple pie here, and then I will head on down and end up at Hawk Mountain Road. I have actually not seen very many people the last couple days. I have run into some day hikers because it's a very popular place to go up to the Pulpit, and there is a parking area where you can park and get out here. And then since I left the Pulpit, I have seen no one. So I'm looking around, and yeah, no one. So anyway, heading on over to the Pinnacle. You guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And let's see, today, counting down, this is day 13. I have a day and a half left in Pennsylvania, thank goodness. Tomorrow is an 11.5 miler. And then the next day, I'm going to be doing 5 miles and then heading to Bear Mountain State Park, New York, and going to start hiking there. And I will probably take a good day off because the rocks of Pennsylvania have beat my feet down, but I'm not going to let it stop me. It may slow me down, but I'm not going to let it stop me. Once again, you guys have an awesome Tuesday, and I will be back, and we'll chat real soon. Hey everybody, this is Jester. It is Wednesday. I don't even know the date. Wednesday, July 22nd, day number 39, 12 days left on the trail. And I'm not sure how long this episode is going to be because this has been the day from you know where already. It is 10:30 in the morning. We started at 7:30, and I have Pajama Mama back with me today. So say hey.
Hey.
And
We started at 6:30.
we started at 6:30. Oh my God. Okay. So this is one of the days where I guess I'm just going to have to keep it real. And we went to Dan's Pulpit. Well, let me tell you the mileage. So we started at Hawk Mountain Road, where the Eckville shelter is, mile marker 1233.7. And we're actually trying to get to mile marker 1245.2, which is PA 309, otherwise known as the Blue Mountain Summit, which makes for an 11.5 mile day. And literally at the road before we started, I was like, oh, I don't remember this day being that bad, that rocky. I think we just get up to the shelter and we're on a carriage road all the way down to PA 309. I'm not sure where I thought I was today, but that is not what happened. So maybe Corey can explain what's been going down this day.
There's some rocks and then a little more rocks. And then sometimes we have to climb over rocks. It might be why it's called Rocksylvania. But as we were climbing, we had a little mishap, which I think I'll turn back to Jester because she was the recipient of an injury.
So basically, we got up to the first Dan's Pulpit, which is one of the highlights of today. And we're actually standing at a place called Balancing Rocks. And there was no balancing for Jester about 0.3 before we got to the Balancing Rocks because I fell and pretty much gashed open my left knee right at the kneecap, and blood just started pouring everywhere. And I've done something to my right hand, but it's fine. It's just, it just hurts. And the first thing I did was I made sure I had my teeth. Yeah.
There's blood all over the place. And she said, I got all my teeth. I'm like staring at the gash in her knee that I'm thinking needs stitches, but that's cool that she can still smile.
So I've got all my teeth. I did not break my wrist, which was the second thing I assessed because as you do when you fall, your hand goes straight out. And then I assessed my shoulder and I did not dislocate my shoulder. And then I was still laying there and the blood's pouring out of the knee. And I said, well, just take the pack off. Corey helped me up. And then what happened?
We literally patched things together with a little first aid from my bag and a little first aid from her bag. So we realized we both need to restock our first aid kit. So that's a good message for everybody out there if you haven't checked your first aid kits lately, because you can get a little lazy with that. But
yeah,
KT tape. That's the winner.
The winner of the day. Well, first of all, I took my bandana and wiped it all up. And now the bandana is completely bloody, of course, and put 3 Band-Aids on it. And we went, 0.4? And I completely bled through the Band-Aids because it's so hot out here. Just sweat is pouring down everywhere. Yeah. So we stopped again here at Balancing Rocks. And both of us, we kind of just opened our packs and said, hey, just basically get out everything and we'll assess what we have. And I forgot that I had some KT tape. You also pulled out moleskin, some gauze, and we were cutting and ripping and all kinds of stuff. And literally what I ended up doing is putting 3 Band-Aids on the gash and KT tape over the Band-Aid. And actually, I'm fine.
It's holding.
And we have 6.4 miles to the road. So I'm hoping my knee does not swell any more than it probably is going. I mean, there's going to be a bruise, but I haven't damaged anything that I know of. I mean, it's still operable. So anyway, I mean, that's about all I got for today. It's going to take all I got to get down to the road.
And it's hot and humid.
And
heat
humid.
Advisory. So it's...
And we are standing here on a rock. Oh, and there's Puddles. Hey, Puddles. I'm actually recording.
Oh, hello, everyone.
If you guys will remember Puddles, she was on the podcast a couple episodes ago and back actually in the Shenandoahs.
Yeah.
And
seems like forever ago now.
Are you ready to get out of Pennsylvania?
Oh, absolutely. I've been dreaming of New Jersey.
Well, New Jersey has some rocks too, but it's not like
It's not like this. And you just missed it, Puddles. I literally have taken a gash out of my knee. KT tape is where it's at.
Yeah.
And Band-Aids.
Yeah.
And So, so we woke Puddles and her gang up this morning as we were blabbing on the trail about 3 hours ago. How would you describe the terrain that we've been going through?
Rocks.
Rocks, and more rocks. So, we'll let you go through, Puddles, if you can get around, because boom, boom. Okay, and just like that, Puddles is through this little rock maze. Happy trails, Puddles. So that is a wrap for today. Corey, any concluding thoughts?
I have nothing. I got nothing. We are still laughing. We're still having a good time. But we're going to check our first aid kits.
That's right. Thing. And just a couple minutes ago, I was like, well, it is Thursday. This is the last day of the podcast for the week. And I'm not sure if I'm hiking tomorrow or the next day or what's going on with this knee. But I imagine, I don't know, it'll be a mystery until next podcast. But in all seriousness, I'm going to be hiking unless there's something detrimentally wrong, and I don't think there is. Just a gash in your knee, that's all.
What do you have left in PA?
I have according to the AT guide, 4.9 miles left tomorrow, and I'm going to do that come hell or high water because I want the heck out of PA.
I'm not taking that as
and nothing against you and your family or anybody else that lives in Pennsylvania, but Jester's got to get the heck out of here. And in all seriousness, I've got about a 5-mile day tomorrow, and then heading up the trail to the New York, Connecticut border. Like I said, 12 days left. We will see what happens. Really appreciate you guys listening. Hope you guys are having a great summer. Happy trails, and I will be back real soon. Hey everybody, this is Jester. It is Thursday. I think it's July 23rd. Day number 40, and I am actually coming to you from my hotel room, the Hampton Inn in Layton, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to follow up real quick from yesterday. So about 5 miles into the hike yesterday, I did have a fall. There was no rhyme or reason to the fall, just kind of basically tripped on a rock. And you know what happens? That momentum gets you going forward, and literally landed on the center of my knee and got a puncture. And that was about 10:30 yesterday morning. And literally it bled until I got to urgent care last night. Not a major bleed, but it just wouldn't stop. So I bled through a bandana. I bled through some gauze. About every mile or so, I had to kind of stop, rewrap it, all that good stuff. But just wanted to let you guys know that I did end up getting some stitches last night, antibiotics, got a whole nother tetanus shot and all that good stuff at the urgent care here in Layton, Pennsylvania. And I will say they were awesome. Although it took I think I was in there almost 4 hours, but they were awesome. They took good care of me. And unfortunately, I've got the stitches in here for the next 10 days. And where the puncture is on my knee, it is literally right in the center of my knee. So I'm supposed to rest it for 3 or 4 days. And then in about 10 days, get the stitches out. And that puts me right at, if I were to stay, right at finishing anyway. Today would have been 11 days left. So I figured the best thing to do is rest at home. So over the next couple of days, I will be heading back home. And this ends this summer's AT section hike. And all I can say is it has been awesome. It has been a lot of fun. I have met some amazing hikers, some amazing people. And I am going to do a follow-up episode and kind of break everything down. So that will be coming out next Saturday. And if you guys have any questions in the meanwhile, feel free to send me a message on Instagram and I will try to answer those for you. But for now, I'm laying in the bed at the Hampton Inn in Layton, Pennsylvania. It has been an awesome summer of section hiking. I'm pretty sure I got close to 400 miles hiked, and the podcast will continue on. I have
several people that I want to interview over the fall, and some great ideas coming up for you guys in the fall and into early winter. So we will carry on. The Appalachian Trail's not going anywhere. And although I may have decided to go out west next summer, but we'll see. Have a great Saturday as you are listening to this. And as always, happy section hiking.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night, heading toward the morning light. I wonder if you'd wander with me, and I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods. You're wondering if I go wandering with you, what kind of trouble we'll get ourselves into. Would it be wrong to tag along with a band of vagabonds? You wonder if I'd wander with you. So I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river. I'm wondering if you'd come wandering my way, if you ever get lost or if the trail leads you astray. The music of the pack can always bring you back. I wonder, can we wander away? And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
It's time to get outdoors and enjoy Arizona season. Camping, hiking, fishing, biking, whatever you might enjoy. And it's the perfect time of year to take your holiday visitors to see the magic of Arizona. Visit azstateparks.com/amazing and plan your next outdoor adventure. Arizona State Parks and Trails wants to remind you to respect the outdoors, keep your distance from wildlife, and pack up all trash that you pack in. Arizona State Parks and Trails.